Hi guys, good afternoon. It is 2:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on 12/15/2023. I hope you all are doing great. I would like to say thank you to everybody who has helped on my fundraiser. I am almost completed with it. If you would like to help, there is still time. Also, that link is in my description along with my PayPal. Anyways, you guys, let's move into the earthquakes that have happened around the world on the globe today. We will see that these earthquakes began at midnight and go up until my time, 2:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's get started. We will start out in California. Well, this is Nevada here. So this is California down here with the San Andreas running through California. So we can see this is our earthquake of interest here, which is occurring between some well-known faults. This fault line here being the San Andreas, this fault line up here being the northern frontal, and this earthquake being a 3.0 in Southern California. This is Big Bear Lake here, Big Bear, and Baldwin Lake there. As we move over into Nevada, up here, we can see that they have had a 2.3 and a 2.0. This earthquake here, 3.0, should be significant to show that there may be another earthquake around here. Now, as we move over here, Texas has been having earthquakes the last few days. They have had another 2.4 and a 2.0. If we scroll in close, we can see that this area is for oil and wells. As you can see, evidenced by the little pads that are all through this area. We we are going to actually take a look real quick at, and let's see if I can pull this up. We're going to take a look real quick at Oregon Live Earthquake Map because I want to make sure that there is nothing that I have missed over the last few days across the United States. I can't spell live today. So let's get this open real quick. We could look to see that there was a 3.8 here, so obviously there was a 3.0 before the 3.8 before the 3.0. Let's see that that 3.8 was 2 days ago. So that would mean there's probably going to be one around here since that is the midway point. Okay, so we're looking over here. I do know that there was one in South Carolina. I believe that was on the 11th. Nope, that was the 13th as well, and it was a 1.6 in South Carolina and Jenkinsville. But I still don't see very much over here on the East Coast. Okay, so back to Google Earth. As we move downward, we can see that Mexico here is quiet. Quiet is never a good thing. It just means that pressure is building up. As we move down here, we can see this is Guatemala, and this is part of Mexico here. This is Chiapas. So this is a 4.4 offshore Chiapas, Mexico. So we're going to move down further, and we can see that there has been 3 earthquakes off of Nicaragua. There was a 3.1, 3.0, a 3.1, and a 2.5. Now, as we go down here, there was a 3.1 off the coast of Costa Rica. Now, this blue line that is going along here, that is the subduction zone. This one here is a 2.9 in Panama. And way over here in an area which is not usual for earthquakes is a 4.5 near the north coast of Colombia. This is not an actual normal area, so this earthquake would be considered semi-rare. This is San Benito Abad here, and this is Sincelejo, which is a town over here. They may have felt this earthquake. But usually you don't see one on the innermost parts here for earthquakes. Now, as we follow this down into South America, right on the subduction zone, we have a 4.0 near the coast of central Peru. And then we have a 3.5 near the coast of southern Peru. This area here moves at 79 millimeters per year. There was a 3.0 in Tarapaca, Chile. And as you can see by looking at this is a volcanic area here. So this would be a volcanic field. There's a 2.6 and a 3.1, both Tarapaca, Chile as well. Excuse me, you guys. I have a little bit of a stopped up nose today, but I am doing great. We have had a 3.5 and a 3.3 in Antofagasta, Chile. And down here on the zone, we have a 2.5. Now note that this area moves at 73 millimeters per year, but it's moving sideways. And this is the South American Nazca Plate. As we move down further to Argentina, you can see that there was a 3.1 offshore Biobao in Chile. This is Argentina here. This is Chile region here. And as we move around the corner here, you can see that it is still maintaining a quietness. Now we're going to back out for a minute, and we're going to take a look at Hawaii. Hawaii has been having some earthquakes over here. Hawaii has had a 2.3, a 2.6, a 2.9, and a 2.3. All of these are occurring at the Kilauea volcano. We're just checking around here to make sure I don't miss anything as I go around this corner here. And it looks as though New Zealand has had a 3.2 on the North Island of New Zealand. And this volcano here is Taranaki, Edgemont, and this is a stratovolcano. Before we skip over Australia, they have had a 2.3 near the southeast coast of Australia. There's a volcano over here. This is Newer Volcano Province. It's a shield volcano. And this is Melbourne, Australia here. So let's head up around the corner here. And as we go around the corner here, I'm going to turn just a little bit. You can see we have had a 3.3 near the north coast of Papua, Indonesia. And we've had a 3.7 Kepulauan, Talad, Indonesia. And we still have a swarm going on over here where a 7.5 earthquake has occurred. As we move up, there was a 3.2 Mindoro, Philippines, and a 3.0 Luzon, Philippines. Now we're going to follow this up around the corner here. And we're going to see that this area here is for the most part quiet all the way over here until we get to Alaska. And in Alaska, we've had a 2.6 in southern Alaska. It was 35 kilometers deep. So let's follow this back down, go to Indonesia here, and go around the corner. As we go around the corner, we see that there was a 3.4 and a 3.7. Both of those were in Bali, Indonesia, or south of Bali, Indonesia. And these are happening on this blue line, and the blue line is the Australian tundra convergent boundary. The next earthquake was a 4.0, Java, Indonesia. And this one here is a 2.9, Java, Indonesia. So follow that up. There was a 2.6 in northern Sumatra, Indonesia. Now we're looking here, and remember the last few days it's been quiet here. All of a sudden, kaboom. There is a 2.7 Meghalaya, Assam region, India. Now this line here is the Daki thrust. It's a convergent boundary. So we can see where this is occurring here. Now as we come up here, we can see that Turkey is still very busy earthquake-wise. And this is going to continue for a while until that fault line that ruptured is healed. And that's done through earthquakes. All the way over here, we've had a 2.0 earthquake in Ukraine. And Ukraine is a country that is at war right now with Russia. But we don't have any earthquakes in Russia at this time. Now, as we focus down over here, we can see that this part of Western Turkey is also having earthquakes as well. And as we move across, we can see that Western Turkey here is also having earthquakes. All the way over here, there has been a 2.0 in Crete, Greece. And this is a subduction zone. And this is the Eurasian African plate here. There was a 2.1 in the Aegean Sea. There was a 2.2 in Greece, a 2.3 in southern Greece, and a 2.4 in Greece. And you can see this line here is a continental rift boundary, which runs down to the continental transform fault, which comes down to, the continental rift boundary. As we move over here, we can see that's a 3.4 in Romania. Now we're going to move up here into Italy. We can see that they have had a 3.3 in Sicily, Italy, and a 2.2 in southern Italy. If we cross across here, you can see there's been a 1.7 in northern Italy and a 2.2 in France. This line here, being the Alps, is a convergent boundary. It's also some big mountains. And then this one here is Eurasia, and it's a convergent boundary. As we move up here, there's been a 2.1 in France and a 2.2 in the Pyrenees, along with another 1.7 in the Pyrenees. Moving over here to Gibraltar, we can see that this is where ships go through. There has been a 2.0, 2.4, and I can't get all three of them to show up, which is weird. Hang on. 2.0, 2.0, and a 2.4. Okay? And a 2.1 and a 1.9. And I believe these lines stand for shipping. And this right here is a continental convergent boundary. And this is the Alboran Sea. If we move up here, this blue line here is the Africa-Eurasia plate. And this here was trying to tell me that this area moves at 4 millimeters per year. Then there was a 2.1 in the Azores, Cape St. Vincent Ridge. Now we're going to look out here offshore, make sure we haven't missed anything over here. And then I'm going to go into some news for the day. Will, don't see anything that I have missed. And then I think I didn't get these here. There was a 2.4 in Puerto Rico and a 2.9. Sorry, I did not see those. I missed those when I got that one. All right, so now we're going to check out the news for the day. And we start with many volcanoes made of mounds of sand appearing and scattering in Texas on a Texas beach. On the shores of the Texas Gulf Shores beach, sandhills resembling miniature volcanoes have been popping up, with park staff members explaining that the hills play a vital role in the Earth's ocean's ecosystem. The mini volcanoes appeared due to extremely low tide and were created by ghost shrimp. They are experiencing an extremely low tide, and the ghost shrimp are creating mini volcanoes all over the beach. According to Quintana Beach County park staff, the tiny crustaceans are most often seen at the water's edge, burrowing down in the seafloor sediment and collecting bits of food. They are 3 to 4 inches long and can dig burrows 4 feet deep. And let me show you a picture. That's what a tiny crustacean beach shrimp looks like. I don't think I would want to eat that. Our next bit of news is a blowout tide has pushed water out of Tampa Bay. The water was pushed out of parts of Tampa Bay on Thursday in a phenomenon known as a blowout tide. And it's not a good idea to walk out on the coastline and get a better look, especially when the water's going to come rushing back in. Our next piece of news is that a strong winter storm is headed to Tampa Bay this weekend. The first weather storm system could provide a preview of what's to come, forecasters say. A strong El Nino winter is expected to bring future storms across the southeast. Get set for some rocky weather that will likely start late Saturday. Meteorologists say a winter storm that will rake the Tampa Bay area this weekend will feel like a tropical system despite not being awarded a name like many other summertime disturbances. Experts are drawing comparisons to a no-name storm that whacked southern Florida last month and drenched some coastal areas with more than a foot of rain. This weekend's Gulf system is expected to be much milder, with rainfall estimates topping out at 4 inches. Forecasters expect strong thunderstorms at least, very least, and haven't ruled out a possible flooding and tornadoes. So, as you know, yesterday I put out a warning video for North Carolina. We can expect this as well. They are tracking another round of substantial rain and wind expected to impact the Carolinas this weekend. An area of low pressure is developing in the Gulf of Mexico and will begin tracking northeast towards the Gulf Coast. A trough of low pressure is also moving eastward through the Midwest towards the Carolinas. The trough is expected to strengthen the surface low and pull it up the I-90 corridor this weekend. Let me show you where the I-95 corridor is. In case you don't know, I live this area. So this here, I believe I got this right. See if I can find I-95. That's 13. I am looking for I-95, you guys. That's 401. And how did this, I thought this was 95. I'm correct. Yep, that's 95. So this is 95, runs through here. This is the I-95 corridor. So when you look at the corridor, it's either side of I-95. I-95 runs up from Florida all the way up like this, from Florida all the way up like this, all the way up this way. They say this will develop into a large area of moderate to heavy rain extending over several states. Strong winds are also expected to develop this weekend. The timing is Saturday, increasing clouds, but mainly dry. The air will begin to moisten up. The first few isolated showers may develop Saturday afternoon and evening, especially along the southeast slopes of elevated terrain. Saturday night, cloudy with scattered showers developing west in the evening, so over in this area. Northeast winds will increase to 10 to 20 miles per hour. So northeast means they're coming from north, going this way. Periods of steady rain developing early, including periods of moderate to heavy rains. Northeast winds will become stronger later, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Sunday night, rainy and gusty in the evening before tapering overnight. A few isolated thunderstorms will be possible. Rain chances are 80%. Monday and Tuesday, a few showers may continue through at least Monday morning, but should wrap up pretty quickly. Brisk winds with gusts up to 30 miles per hour will continue for much of the day, lessening some overnight and Tuesday. So remember, we are going to have winds on Monday as well. So if you're planning on driving somewhere, just use very safe precaution. Storm impact. Substantial rain is expected, but totals will depend on the track of the surface low. Generally speaking, rain totals of 1 to 2 inches are expected in the triads Sunday and Sunday night on the current track through eastern North Carolina. However, the surface low tracks further west and more inland, rain totals may approach 3 to 4 inches. So let me see if I can show you this. Okay, this is the rainfall forecast for Monday. This is for North Carolina. They're expecting 1 to 5 inches here, 1.5 inches here, and that's Winston-Salem, zero point 0.8 inches in North Wilkesboro, zero point 0.7 in Galax, 1 in Mount Airy, 1.3 in Martinsville, 2.3 in Danville, and 2.4 in Burlington. And I live over this way. So, keeping an eye out because I'm in the red. You can tell. Let me see. Burlington. Okay, Burlington is here, so I'm over this area. So if you saw that picture, I am over in here. And that area is the mountains and the foothills with 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. So, wonder what I can't find a thingy for how much rain is expected for my area exactly. So, hang on, let's look. I'm curious here. Let's see how much rain they're expecting for me. So you can see we got 100% rain expected Sunday, and mostly cloudy, then chance of rain Saturday night, 50%, less than a tenth of an inch will be great. Rain with thunderstorms, new rainfall amounts between 2 and 3 inches. Eekala. Okay, new rainfall amounts Sunday night between 3/4 and 1 inch. So I guess if it's 2 to 3 inches on Sunday and 1 inch possible on Sunday night, that's 4 inches of rain. Okay. Anyway, just so you guys know, I do have candles. I do have water, and I'm on a second floor, so I'm good. Let's see here. I want to look at Wendy. We can see the storms themselves as they're coming across this country. So the ones that they're talking about is this one, I believe, even though it doesn't look as scary as it should. Okay, so you can see the ones here moving up. This is moving in Tampa, and this is coming across. So these are the ones that they're talking about. This one has just a little bit of a spin to it. I am surprised that it doesn't have a name. That is a bit strange. And it's got a low millibar too. Anyway, this area here, which is Tampa, is where the water was drawn back out. And that can happen usually when strong winds push the water off land or away from the land. And then as the storm goes by, the water will come rushing back in. Remember, that's happened before. I believe that was on the other side of Florida. It was somewhere, and I remember seeing it in the news. Let's see. And it's not caused because of tsunami, so that's a totally different type of event. Alrighty. So let's see if we got any new earthquakes. The only ones we have so far is a 3.1 Virgin Islands, a 2.2 Greece, a 2.4 Greece, a 2.0 Greece, and a 3.8 in Greece. Okay, you guys. Well, that wraps up my update for this afternoon. I hope y'all are doing well. The time now is 3:27. Please remember to like, subscribe, share my video. If you like my video, please give me a big thumbs up. Much love. Leave comments. I like comments. I will answer you back. I love to always answer people back on their comments. And have a wonderful evening. Much love.